ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Thousands of San Diegans could be getting the coronavirus vaccine in just a matter of days. The first shipment is expected in San Diego next week. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt. ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura explains how the county is laying out the groundwork for getting these vaccines to the most vulnerable.
Roughly 327,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine is expected in California next week if it's approved by the FDA, which could happen as early as Thursday. Of that, San Diego County is expected to get 28,275 doses. The vaccines will need to be stored at locations with special freezers.
Those vaccines will go to 3 locations, and these locations are what CDC calls positioned locations. So that's Rady's Hospital, UCSD, and of course our county hospital.
At Wednesday's news conference, county health officials laid out the plans for distributing the vaccine. It will happen in phases, with the first phase focused on healthcare workers and people living and working in long-term care facilities. ABC 10 News reached out to local hospitals for their plans on vaccine distribution. UC San Diego Health sent a statement that said in part, assuming the U.S. Food and Drug Administration issues an emergency use authorization tomorrow or Friday, we would anticipate arrival of the first allocation of the Pfizer vaccine to UC San Diego Health next week, with the first vaccinations occurring shortly thereafter. With the coronavirus vaccine rollout in the works, ABC 10 News also looked ahead at the possibility of employers making it mandatory. Attorney and legal analyst Dan Eaton says employers legally can, with some exceptions like medical concerns and religious objections. However,
just because an employer has a legal right to require vaccination doesn't mean as an ethical matter it is right to do so. Everybody wants to get back to normal. But if you are going to try to impose vaccination on an unwilling population, you're going to create an entirely new set of problems. The law has a place, to be sure, but so also does the broader spirit of cooperation.
Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
We have a detailed explanation of the phased approach of vaccine distribution on our website, 10news.com. This afternoon, Governor Gavin Newsom tweeted that 672,000 doses of Moderna's COVID vaccine are coming to California. Ralph's, CVS, and Walgreens will all take part in vaccinating people. CVS tells us nursing homes will get it first, followed by the general public when more doses become available. Walgreens is creating an app for its customers. And today, the Navy announced it will vaccinate military personnel at Naval Medical Center in Camp Pendleton. We're just hours away from the FDA's big decision on whether it's safe to vaccinate millions of Americans with the Pfizer vaccine. If the FDA does give the green light, the first Americans could begin being immunized as soon as Friday. Tomorrow's public hearing comes after the deadliest day in America. More than 3,000 people have died from COVID-19 in this country in the past 24 hours. Hospitals filled to the brink, overwhelming staff.
The ICU is full. We're bursting at the seams. We're running on empty here.
Health officials say those numbers don't yet reflect the impact of Thanksgiving travel and gatherings. Here are the latest coronavirus numbers in San Diego County. Today, the county reported another 2,100 cases, bringing our total to more than 97,000. There were 15 new deaths reported in total. More than 1,100 San Diegans have died from the virus.
We've got to take care of our healthcare workers, or we're not going to have them to take care of the patients.
More people are being hospitalized with COVID-19, and ICU beds are filling up in Southern California. Our regional ICU capacity is now just 9%. And some healthcare systems say lack of staffing could be another issue if the surge continues. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala spoke with a Palomar health nurse who's urging the public to continue masking and social distancing.
Other people have been working from home. We're not. We're here. We're in it.
Like many healthcare workers this year, Megan Jaremchuk hasn't had a break.
It's been hard because this has gone on for a long time, and people are tired. But they're still showing up.
Juremchek is a registered nurse and the director of progressive and acute care at Palomar Medical Center in Escondido. She's been working with COVID-19 patients since the beginning.
You're seeing people that can't be with their loved ones. Visitors are very, very restricted.
As the number of positive cases continues to rise, more people are being hospitalized. The federal medical station, set up with 202 beds for non-ICU patients, is ready to go when needed. And Diane Hansen, the CEO of Palomar Health, says they also have an ability to expand their dedicated 48 ICU beds to 110 ICU beds. But she says making sure enough healthcare workers are available is one of the bigger issues at this point.
We do have capacity. We're seeing on average about 50 patients per day, less than what we normally see this time of year. My biggest concern is our ability to staff beds should the pandemic surge become greater.
Not every nurse can take care of every kind of patient.
Juremchek worries about the community spread. If nurses become sick, hospital operations could be disrupted. She understands many people are tired of being told to mask up, wash their hands, and avoid gatherings. But she's urging everyone to continue following the health guidelines to protect those who are giving their all to save lives.
The patients also make an impact on our lives. We make connections and it's meaningful. And if we get exposed, if we get sick, we can't come to work and take care of the patients.
Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
For the latest developments on the coronavirus pandemic, download the ABC 10 News mobile app. You can also get breaking news alerts. It's free in the App Store. New developments tonight in the standoff that shut down streets around the FBI building in Sorrento Valley this afternoon. An armed man showed up at the field office on Vista Sorrento Parkway. Officers tried to talk him down, but police tell the City Wire news service he ended up shooting himself. He was taken to the hospital, no word yet on his condition. And police arrested a suspected shooter they say killed a 19-year-old woman this past 4th of July. It happened in Bonita. And 20-year-old Giovanni Rodriguez is now booked for 1 count of murder. Detectives say Vanessa Del Valle was shot and killed after a fight among several women near apartments on Cedarwood Road. She died at the hospital. And we now know the former La Mesa police officer on camera pushing Amari Johnson to sit back down was in fact fired. The arrest happened in late May, and combined with the death of George Floyd, the event triggered a series of protests. Matthew Daiggs left the department in August, but today, La Mesa city officials revealed it was a firing and an appeal held up the decision. Johnson is suing over the encounter. Today, President-elect Joe Biden announced another key nominee for his cabinet. He picked retired General Lloyd Austin for Secretary of Defense. As ABC's Elizabeth Schulze reports, the choice is being met with some resistance.
President-elect Joe Biden continuing to build out his administration, formally naming retired General Lloyd Austin as his pick to lead the Department of Defense.
He's the definition of duty, honor, country.
If confirmed, General Austin would be the first black defense secretary in U.S. history.
Thank you for your trust and your confidence, and for the opportunity to serve as a 28th Secretary of Defense.
Since it's been less than 7 years since General Austin retired from active duty, he would need to get a waiver from Congress to do the job. And several Democrats have already spoken out against providing the waiver.
I know this man. I know his respect for our Constitution. I know his respect for our system of government.
Biden is also expected to name Tom Vilsack to reprise his role as Agriculture Secretary, and to name Ohio Representative Marcia Fudge as his Housing Secretary. The president-elect laying out an ambitious agenda to rein in the pandemic in his first 100 days, including requiring masks in federal buildings, distributing 100 million doses of the vaccine, and safely reopening schools. Another key focus for the incoming Biden team, repairing the COVID-ravaged economy. Members of the president-elect's economic team meeting today with Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
I think we are going to need to think big and bold.
And late today, President-elect Biden's son, Hunter Biden, revealing his taxes are under investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware. The younger Biden saying he found out about the investigation yesterday, while a source tells ABC News it started in 2018. The transition team saying in a statement, in part, President-elect Biden is deeply proud of his son who has fought through difficult challenges. The Department of Justice declined to comment. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Today is Kevin Faulconer's final day as mayor of San Diego. He has said that he is proud of many accomplishments in his time serving the city, especially getting homeless San Diegans housed and improving infrastructure and city services. Critics point to the deadly hepatitis A outbreak, the loss of the Chargers, and the failure to expand the convention center. Faulconer may not be done with political life. He says he is strongly considering running for governor. When Todd Gloria is sworn in as mayor tomorrow, he will immediately be getting more than twice as much salary as Faulconer did. City council members get big raises as well. In 2018, San Diego voters agreed to the salaries of the mayor and city council, to those of Superior Court judges as well. We tracked down the lawyer who wrote the law. He says paying better salaries attracts better candidates to run.
So you get smart people on the council that are real business people that aren't going gaga over a sports franchise or something else, and you save the city a lot of money.
Well, we reached out to Gloria's office. He sent a statement. Nearly 80% of San Diego voters agreed that the adjustments to the salaries of San Diego elected officials was the right thing to do. The city's budget will be balanced while we implement the will of the voters.